Okay, back again, and it is definitely Scraft o'clock. This evening I'm going to be looking at one game, certainly, possibly two, between Resonant and Taurus Mimus. So let's jump straight into game one. I've been reliably informed we're in for a treat. Taurus, if you've watched the other games, you might remember, has a slightly unusual style. So let's see if he continues that in this matchup. Resonant here playing Protoss then, in the blue trunks down at the bottom. In the pink trunks up at the top we have the Terran player Taurus. Let's open the production tab so we can see what they're doing. Taurus, hello Taurus? Taurus? Oh Taurus, so soon? But yeah, this is exactly the type of thing I've come to expect. The production tab looks pretty normal for the Protoss player, but Taurus is just up to his old tricks, building 2 supply depots, and he has sent this worker across the map straight away. That can only be up to no good. So let's find out. I've been mucking about with the StarCraft settings and I've discovered a few things. Check this out. Oh yeah. How's about that then? I haven't worked out a way to hide this, but I think there is one. Pretty sweet though, huh? So at some point I'll use that and, I don't know, do something mental. I can't help but feel that this tactic is just bonkers. Of course, people that have watched this sort of channel will know that this is the sort of thing that Taurus gets up to, and they're going to be looking out for it in future games. So, nice to see a Protoss involved. Protoss building a gateway straight off the bat. This map, we've seen before, has this very narrow, easy to defend ramp into the main, has an expansion straight out the back. Taurus has taken his opponent's expansion out the back, which is very interesting indeed. So, Resonant mining from both gases pretty early, so I wonder if he has got something in mind to use that gas. Over in the Terran base we can see that the barracks is done, a single gas done. Everything here looks a bit standard, if a bit delayed. You'd expect this barracks to be finished by now. But I think that's partially because he saved up for this command center. A weird tactic, no doubt. So what have we? A side core, a second gateway, and this is a Zealot building. First up, Zealots, not, they're not a bad choice. Wouldn't be my first choice against a Terran, to be honest. If something is coming early, a Zealot can't run faster than a worker, so a scouting worker can still get in and run around the base and do whatever it likes, and the Zealot can just chase it around. It can't actually catch it. If Marines turn up, Marines are ranged units, and with a little bit of micro, you can just kite Zealots all day long with Marines, so it's very hard for a Zealot to kill a Marine. Later in the game, Zealots are useful. They have their uses. They're very good at tanking damage, and once you have the Zealot charge upgrade done, they're very handy units indeed. But this early in the game, I would question the value in building Zealots. In their place, once the subcore's finished, certainly consider building Adepts if you are going to play Protoss. Oh, let's have a look. He's about to find out that, so he's come down to drop his own expand, only to find that Taurus Mimus has actually done that already for him. So actually these Zealots are going to be just the ticket, because they're going to be able to go down there and just tear this down. Taurus has no units as yet, I don't think. No, he's got nothing, so nothing he can do to keep this alive. These Zealots are just going to break it down. And I guess these SCVs are going to run all the way home. Might actually, he can fly this command center home, because as yet the Protoss has nothing that shoots up. What's this though? An Oracle. Has somebody been watching my demo videos? Oh, brilliant play. This Oracle building at 4 minutes has the potential to do a huge amount of damage. Over here Taurus has roughly no units. He's queuing up Marines. Now, an Oracle will happily take on 4 Marines head to head and kill them all. 5 Marines, I think it will kill. I have a feeling 6 is the threshold. So, go, 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 Oracle. Let's see what he can get done with this. Oracle's, this type of build, very popular. Don't fly past the command center, he'll see it. Although, only if he's watching the mini-map. Yeah, very, very popular to build Oracles as an early opener for Protoss against any res, really, because they can do damage so quickly. So even at a high level, it's a very popular build, even if you know how to defend it. Even against a pretty good player, you can still probably get an Oracle in and get a couple of kills. At worst, the Oracle gets in and has a good look around. It's such a quick unit. So it's very uncommon that you would build an early Oracle and not get some value from it. So here it comes. It was built nice and early, but he did quite a lot of hanging around with it. So let's see what it can get done. Yep, nothing here, nothing in the third. That command center is going to make it the whole way home. Arguably there might have been some value in, after the Oracle was finished, building a Phoenix to shoot that down, or indeed building a Stalker. You've seen the Oracle, dude. Those Marines need to be in your mineral line. If you suspect an Oracle is coming, that's a pretty standard thing to do. Your first few Marines, put them in the mineral line to defend against this. That looks like it might just be enough Marines to see this off. It certainly will, unless the Oracle focuses them down and gets the first hit in. So, certainly not a disaster. 4 workers killed, which can be effective. So, here we see only 10 workers actively mining. And if we look at the income tab, that's a massive advantage for the Protoss right there. That is a bigger advantage than was gained from just those 4 workers. Maybe get these guys to work. Yeah, all that mucking about building the CC on the other side of the map hasn't really paid dividends this time for Taurus, and actually it's put him quite far behind. The Ghost Academy is done. Everybody knows I love to see a nuke. The nuke isn't building just yet. I don't think he has the gas for it. Is mining from the 2 refineries there, but yep, brilliant. Needs to get those other 2 down really to, provide enough gas for researching upgrades, for building medevacs and building ghosts, and researching cloaking and nuke. Certainly 4 gas geysers required at the least. Again, this odd choice to build a planetary inside the main. I don't mind that, but when especially if you're running on so few workers, an orbital command for those mules is very important indeed. So the Protoss up to 3 bases already, very nice. Has got a forge. Interesting choice there to start with shields. Shields tends to be a later upgrade as a Protoss, unless you're planning on building a lot of air units, because shields apply to air as well. That upgrades all Protoss units, whereas the armor and attack upgrades from the forge only upgrade ground units. If you want to upgrade attack and armor for air units, that comes out of the side core here. Okay, so a lot of different types of tech down here. We have got the Twilight, we have got the Robo, and we've got the Robo Bay, and this fleet beacon, so very hard to tell which direction he's going to go in. Typically, you wouldn't build all of those things. You would choose one tech path and research that, because otherwise you've spent an awful lot of money on buildings, which means that you don't really have any units. And as we look here, Resonant has roughly 2 Stalkers, and that's all he's got, isn't it? Let's have a look along here. Oh no, he's got 3 Zealots somewhere. Not sure where those are. They hanging out someplace. Oh, my bad. Like, he's got loads of stuff parked over here. It's almost like I know how to play this game. Like to see these observers, brilliant units, observers. The observer is a cloaked unit, has a reasonable vision range, and its purpose is just scouting. You can park those on the map, and if you, they're very hard to see by the other player. They're small profile, and they're cloaked, so very hard to spot. When they're moving, you do see a little ripple on the map as they move. Let's see what this can get done. Don't shoot buildings. Shoot workers. 1, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, this is going to time, isn't it? So he's going to chase it away, but you know that's well worth it already. 7 worker kills, superb. Let's see what that's done to the income tab. Yeah, that's fairly profound. Let's just see that again. Yeah, it's hard to see how Taurus can win this game so long as Resonant remembers to just build an army, because at present, you know, Taurus with the army supply lead. So yeah, it's great that you're doing all this mining. 3 bases saturated, superb. But look up here, 4,000 minerals in the bank, over 1,000 gas. You know, don't forget to turn it into units. These gateways are idle; they're not even doing anything. Look, so yeah, get that going. You know, you've queued stuff up here, but you know you're upgrading units that you don't have. So definitely turn that money into units, and this game is won. Interesting placements for the observers. More typically, you'd think about putting observers in the middle of the map here, so that when your opponent moves out you can see that happen. Perhaps put an observer up here, so that if they take that expand you know about it, or send the observer into your opponent's base, so you can actually see what they're doing. Yeah, not uncommon when you're playing against a Terran to place observers in these sorts of regions, but yeah, middle of the map tends to be more common. Having an observer in a position where you can see drops coming in is a good idea though, so you know these aren't badly placed, but I'd like some in the middle as well. Okay, Taurus loading up. Let's see what he's going to do with this. What's he got in there? He's got a handful of Marines, he's got a Marauder. These are 1-1 Marine Marauder, so I'd like to see something 2-pronged here. Get this Liberator in maybe on one side of the base and then send the drop around the other, so distract with one of those units and get some work done with the drop perhaps. Oh, the Oracle's back, look. He's back in, 10 kills. Yeah, he's run out of energy in fact. Very interesting. Yeah, run. Okay. So this Widow Mine that is just running about here is the hard counter to an Oracle. Burrow him in the mineral line. Widow Mine will one-shot an Oracle. Single shot will kill an Oracle. So next time that Oracle flies in, if that Widow Mine is burrowed, it's a dead Oracle. No point flying this in just at the minute. Doesn't have the energy to activate the pulse beam. It just now does have the energy, but it will run out very quickly if activated. So let's see what this Liberator does. Just kind of going into liberation mode and is getting some work done for sure. This Void Ray will kill it very quickly though. The Void Ray has this prismatic alignment feature, which allows it to do bonus damage to armoured units. So if you hit E, it will shoot down those Liberators really very quickly indeed. Just increases its damage output. Lasts for a little while and then has, I think, a 60-second cooldown. 43-second cooldown, my bad. This drop isn't going to find anything because there are no workers here. So, you know, if you're going to do a drop like this, generally worth throw down a scan before you go in so that you can see what it is that you're going to try and target. I don't mind dropping where there's no workers, but have a target in mind. You know, a Nexus has a ridiculous amount of health, so a drop like that isn't going to kill a Nexus. One of the tactics you can use, you know, mostly go after workers, but another alternative is to drop and take out an important tech structure. So for example, kill the Cyb core of the Protoss, and that means he can't build Stalkers anymore. Kill the Robo, he can't build Colossus. Kill the Stargate, perhaps kill the Twilight or the Forge to delay his upgrades. Yeah, don't bother trying to shoot a Nexus unless you've got enough to kill it, which would certainly be 2 medevacs full of stuff. Let's have a look at this Oracle. 17 kills in total that Oracle has got, so he has been a busy boy, and that damage is here in the income tab. So full energy, however, on this command center, you know, so you can turn that into mules, and you'll be amazed if you have several mules mining, including this one that's just sitting doing nothing. You'd be amazed at how quickly your income spikes. Mules mine a lot, so that Oracle is it's paid for itself many times over. 14 workers in gas. Yeah, he needs to notice that and just rectify that. Presumably he pulled those workers for some reason or transferred them, and this is an accidental misclick. You know, having any more than 3 workers in gas makes no difference to how quickly you mine the gas. Only 1 worker can go into the refinery or assimilator at a time, and the distance that they have to be from a nexus or a command center is such that 3 means there is always a worker in the gas. So these other 11 are literally just adding nothing. He needs to spread those out, get them mining minerals, get them into the opposite gas, or get them somewhere else doing stuff. Yeah, 6 in that one as well, and only 1 in the other. So yeah, you know, it's not the end of the world or anything, but at the same time, you could really do with sorting that out. So that's interesting. This hotkey that he has here, number 2, has buildings and units attached to it. That's a bit odd. As a Protoss, you never need to hotkey your warp kits. These are warp kits and allow you to essentially plant down units anywhere where there's a pylon, but the W button at any given time simply selects all of your warp kits. I'm just flicking between the views from either player just so I can see what they know about each other. And actually, you know, reasonable amount of scouting has happened in this game. Both the players have been in each other's bases with either drops, liberators, oracles. So, you know, I'm fairly pleased that they know what each other is about to some extent anyway. This Widowmines don't shoot unless they're burrowed. So, as a general sort of rule, unless you're very good at micro, keep them burrowed. If you're really good at micro, you keep them unburrowed so that they don't shoot until you want them to. Again, Widowmine, very long cooldown after it fires. Okay, what's happening? Fusion core is down, so no nukes building yet, but 2. The potential to build them 2 at a time and therefore fire 2 at a time. But here it comes. I don't believe Taurus has enough to see this off. That needs to be burrowed. That can help you. But no, he definitely doesn't have enough to see this off. This is a very meaty army indeed. And it's pretty much just going to walk straight through everything and just destroy. Yeah, it's annoying. These are great against Colossus. Colossus are a very strong unit. They do splash damage, and they have an incredible range. So they're a fantastic unit against Terrafire, especially with the use of some force fields and stuff. This has been, you know, to be honest, a pretty impressive game by Resonant. He's built a strong army. It is reasonably upgraded. He's been using force fields. He's used the Oracle well. Yeah, I think definitely pretty strong play. Pretty strong play. Didn't get caught out by any sort of bizarre aspects of Taurus's build. Didn't get nuked. Look at 3 of these Ghost Academies. One will normally do it unless you're at that point where you want to build lots of nukes at once. Oh, smack talk, is it? Smack talk, you can surrender. Look at him go. Look at him go. Well, I never. That's going to hot things up. You can surrender if you like. Feel free to get out of my game, son. That's turned nasty, hasn't it? It's turned nasty for sure. You know, sometimes telling people that they should surrender has the opposite effect, doesn't it? Yeah, but there it is. So, victory here for Resonant. A pretty polished build, I would say. You know, put in that. Yeah, Taurus has left again, but Resonant is staying in there to kill his buildings. Yeah, pretty convincing, I would say, from Resonant. Pretty convincing. Built an army, built a pretty reasonable army, and marched across the map and won with it. Didn't take too much damage from the drops or the liberators, and got an awful lot of work done with those oracles. If we look down here at spending, you can see that, you know, there's a vast difference in the amount of money that's been spent and therefore the amount of money that has originally been mined. Not to mention that Resonant has best part of 9,000 in the bank as well. So yeah, he won that on economy, very much so. Okay, good game one. I wonder if Taurus can rise to the challenge that Resonant presents here and bring it back in game two. I'd really like to see some more of those nukes come down, Taurus. GG, well played.